Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's fundamental to human survival, yet widely misunderstood. Fire. You probably think you know fire, right? It's hot, it burns, you need fuel, oxygen, and heat. But what if I told you that most of what you see in movies and even some common survival advice gets it dangerously wrong? We're going to strip away the myths and look at the actual science behind fire. Understanding the physics of combustion isn't just an academic exercise, it's a skill that could save your life. We'll break down how fire really behaves, why your assumptions might be wrong, and how you can use this knowledge to master fire in any survival situation. So, grab a notebook, because class is in session. Let's start with the absolute basics, the fire triangle: fuel, heat, and oxygen. Simple enough. But the reality is far more dynamic. It's not a static triangle. It's a chemical reaction, a process called combustion. And the key to understanding this process is heat transfer. Fire spreads and sustains itself through three methods: conduction, convection, and radiation. Get these right and you're no longer just trying to start a fire, you're engineering one. Conduction is heat transfer through direct contact. Think of a metal poker left in a campfire. The handle gets hot because the heat travels right up the metal. In your fire lay, this means materials need to touch each other for heat to spread efficiently. This is why a tightly packed tinder bundle ignites better than scattered pieces. The heat from one burning fiber is conducted directly to its neighbor, creating a chain reaction. Next up is convection, which is heat transfer through the movement of fluids, in this case air. Hot air is less dense than cool air, so it rises. This is the single most important principle people forget. When you see a flame, that upward-pointing shape is created by convection. The fire is literally pulling in cool, oxygen-rich air from the bottom and shooting hot gases upward. This creates a current, a chimney effect. This is why a TP fire structure is so effective. It's designed to harness convection. The shape funnels hot air up, which in turn pulls fresh oxygen in at the base, feeding the flames. If you build a fire that's too flat or smothered, you're fighting against convection, and your fire will struggle for breath. Finally, there's radiation, or thermal radiation. This is heat traveling as electromagnetic waves, just like light from a light bulb or heat from the sun. You can feel the warmth of a fire from a distance without touching it or being in the path of the hot air. That's radiation. This is crucial for igniting nearby fuel without direct contact. A large hot coal bed radiates immense heat, preheating and drying out larger pieces of wood around it, making them much easier to ignite. This is the secret to building a self-sustaining fire. You're not just burning wood, you're using the radiant heat from your established fire to prepare the next round of fuel. So let's bust a huge myth. Bigger is not always better. Many beginners try to start a fire by piling on huge logs. This fails almost every time. Why? A big log has a massive amount of mass that needs to be heated up to its ignition temperature. It's a huge heat sink. You could hold a lighter to a giant log for an hour and do little more than char the surface. The fire simply can't generate enough heat to overcome the log's mass. Fire building is a process of escalation. You must start small. You begin with tinder, material with a very high surface area to volume ratio. Think cotton balls, dry grass, or wood shavings. These materials heat up to their ignition point almost instantly. From tinder, you graduate to kindling. These are small twigs about the thickness of a pencil. They catch fire from the tinder because they don't require a massive amount of heat energy. Once the kindling is burning robustly, it creates a much hotter environment, producing enough heat through radiation and convection to ignite your larger fuel wood, the finger-sized and then wrist-sized branches. Each stage builds the heat necessary for the next. You are literally building a thermal ladder. Rushing this process is the #1 reason for failure. Patience and a respect for the escalation of heat are key. Now let's talk about fuel, specifically wood. Wood is a dangerously false statement. The type of wood and its condition are everything. The most critical factor is moisture content. Water is the arch nemesis of fire. When you try to burn wet wood, the fire must first expend a massive amount of energy just to boil the water away. This process of turning water into steam sucks the heat right out of your fire, often extinguishing it. This is why you must find the driest wood possible. Look for standing deadwood, branches on trees that have died but haven't fallen to the wet ground. These are often your best source for dry fuel, even in the rain. Break a branch in half. If it snaps with a clean, crisp sound, it's likely dry. If it's bendy and tears, it's green or waterlogged. Leave it. Another secret is to process your wood. Don't just throw a branch on the fire. Use a knife to shave off the wet outer bark, exposing the dry wood inside. You can also split larger pieces of wood. The inside of a log, even one that's been lying on the damp ground, can be surprisingly dry. Splitting it not only gives you access to that dry core, but also dramatically increases the surface area, making it easier for the wood to catch fire. Remember our principle: high surface area to volume ratio. A split log has far more surface area exposed to heat than a whole one. Let's apply these principles to a real-world scenario. Imagine you're in a damp forest, it's been raining. How do you start a fire? First, find your driest possible tinder. Look for pine resin, birch bark, or the fluffy inner fibers of plants like milkweed. Protect it from the ground moisture. Use a rock or a piece of bark as a platform. Next, gather your kindling. Look for the small dead branches at the bottom of pine trees, which are often shielded from rain by the canopy above. Break them into various sizes, from toothpick thin to pencil thin. Then find your fuel wood. Look for a standing dead tree. Use a saw or axe to process it, splitting the logs to get to the dry heartwood. Now construct your fire lay with physics in mind. Don't just make a pile. Build a teepee or a log cabin structure. This creates an internal chamber and allows for airflow from below, harnessing that powerful chimney effect of convection. Place your tinder bundle in the center. Light it. As the tinder flames up, it will ignite the smallest kindling. The heat will rise, preheating the larger kindling above it. The structure contains the heat, focusing it. Be patient. Let the kindling get well established before you start adding the larger split fuel wood. Place the new fuel in a way that allows it to be preheated by thermal radiation from the established flames before it's expected to burn. You're not just throwing wood on a fire, you are managing a delicate energy system. Understanding the science of fire transforms you from a hopeful amateur into a reliable firemaker. You stop guessing and start making strategic decisions. You know why you need to build a platform, why you need to split wood, and why the structure of your fire is so important. You're working with the laws of physics, not against them. Fire isn't magic. It's a predictable, controllable chemical reaction. By mastering the principles of conduction, convection, and radiation, and by understanding the properties of fuel, you gain the ability to create one of the most critical survival tools in any environment, under any conditions. So next time you're out camping or practicing your skills, don't just go through the motions. Think like a scientist. Observe. Analyze what's happening. Is your fire struggling for air? Maybe you need to adjust its structure to improve convection. Is your new wood sizzling instead of burning? It's too wet and you're losing the battle against moisture. This scientific mindset is what separates survival experts from novices. It's the difference between hoping for a fire and knowing you can make one. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the science of fire. I hope this changes the way you look at those dancing flames. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that breaks down survival skills. Stay safe, stay smart, and practice these principles. See you in the next one.